Has anyone ever actually had a good roommate? I have literally only had one. My last roommate situation was my last one for a reason. I was living with two men, and it literally felt like I was their mother. I don't think either one of them ever cleaned the bathroom, and if they did, they would literally just like wipe down the sink. One thing that was crazy to me is that they were up every night until like 2 in the morning blasting music. When I tell you, it was every night. We had a dishwasher, and if you live in Chicago, you know that's a luxury. So why would the dishwasher be fully empty, but there's a sink full of dishes? Can't we just put it in there real quick? Like when I tell you, I felt like their mother. One time I tried to talk to them about it. I was like, hey queen, like, when y'all pour out like pasta sauce in the sink, do you think we could maybe like wash out the sink after that? And one of them yelled at me about how I wanted them to clean things that were already clean. In college, I lived with some of my best friends, and like 3 days in, one of them just like kind of stopped talking to me. That kind of turned into never being invited anywhere with them. So like I would be home and they would all leave together, get Starbucks, and then come back and just not say a word to me. And I talked to them multiple times about this, and I was like, are we good? Like, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, we're good. And this got to the point where none of them talked to me except for like one. Mind you, I'm literally asking what I did and no one's fucking telling me. And then when it got to the point where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore, I need to move out, that is when I was told that one thing that I said at the beginning of the year made them upset, and they thought I was gonna come talk to them about it. Which, like, how would I talk to you about something that I didn't know made you upset? And also, haven't I been literally asking y'all like what the fuck I did for the past like 3 months? Both of these roommate situations, obviously they weren't the worst that they could get, but like they both ruined all of my friendships with everybody I lived with. The only good roommate I feel like I've ever had was my freshman year of college. I love you, Molly. You're the chillest bitch in the world. You know this. I swear to God, living alone is the best thing I could have done for myself. It is so fucking peaceful here, bitch. Like, let me tell you. Honestly, I feel like I didn't have it as bad as other people have. But I don't know. Living with roommates is just like a fucking nightmare. Like, I'll never do it again. If you have great roommates, I love that for you. If you don't, I want to know the tea. I want to know the tea. And if you're one of my old roommates, honestly, I hope you're doing well. I just don't think we were meant to live together.
Okay, I know that everybody thinks that they've had the worst roommate ever, but like, I truly promise you, I have had the worst roommate on the entire planet. This is like a 4-year story, so it might be a couple parts. Bear with me, I swear I will make it as short as possible. So I'm hanging out with this group of like fraternity guys, and one of them is dating this girl, and they end up like breaking up. It was a super nasty breakup. She gets blacklisted. Everybody's like, she's absolutely crazy. Who cares? I don't know this girl. But I do know her name. So like a year later, I'm really desperate to move out of my parents' house. I'm on Facebook looking up places to live. I find this place. I don't recognize the girl. I'm like, okay, whatever. I've lived with strangers before. No big deal. So I go over there to look up. Guess who opens the door? Crazy ex-girlfriend. I'm like, that's weird. Like, she was under a different name, but like maybe she changed her name. I don't know. So I'm talking to her. She seems normal. The apartment is nice. The room's really cheap. She tells me that she's married now. She got married to this guy within 5 months. They were dating for 5 months and got married. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. I'll live with a couple if it's cheap rent. So I move in. Everything's dandy. Like a month after I moved in, she's all of a sudden telling me that her and her husband are getting divorced now, or getting it annulled because they haven't even been married long enough for it to count. And then she's telling me about how he's like crazy and abusive and is trying to break into our apartment, so she has to change all the locks. And I've met this guy, and like he seemed totally normal, but like obviously you don't know with guys, so I'm gonna believe the girl in this situation. She's my roommate. So far she has a totally different name. She married a guy after 5 months, and now they're getting divorced a month after I move in, and she's saying that he's crazy and abusive. So crazy guy disappears out of our lives. It's just me and the 2 other girls in the apartment for like a year, and honestly everything was chill. Like I would catch this girl lying about the weirdest things. Like she would tell everybody that she couldn't drink because she was anemic and it made her really sick, but yet I would literally sit and watch her drink alcohol all the time. And like things would be moved around in my bedroom, but like I didn't really care. And there's so much more weird stuff this girl did that I just can't remember at all. But then crazy girl decides she's gonna get 2 cats, and these cats are like abused like completely in our apartment. Like she never spends time with them. Their litter boxes are never clean. Our apartment starts to stink so bad because like they're peeing and pooping everywhere. They're throwing up all over the place. They have goop coming out of their eyes, and I keep telling her like, Riley, it stinks in here. It really stinks in here. Like, could you do something about it? And she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll fix it. It never does anything to fix it. The smell got to be so bad that I literally had to move my clothes and everything to my boyfriend's house. I had to do all of my laundry there. I had to change there because like my clothes just smelled like pure cat pee and poop. Like everybody was telling me that. It was so embarrassing. My boyfriend could not come and visit me because he would literally open the door to my apartment and start vomiting like over the stairwell next to my door. Then I go through like this whole 2-week mental breakdown where like I should have been in a psych ward, honestly. And I was like, I can't live this like anymore. Like I have to leave. So me and the other girl that were living there were like, we have to go. Like we found better places to live. We never told her it was because of her stinky cats. We were very nice about it and just said we found a better place to go. We do all the paperwork to get off the lease. Not 1 time, but 2 times did we do the paperwork to get off the lease. So I think I'm off the lease. I guess I'll do a part 2 if this gets any views.
Yeah, guys, have you ever had a horrible roommate? Because I have experienced such in the university, right? I actually didn't want to have a roommate, but I was kind of forced into having a roommate. Was it forced? But I had a friend who had an acquaintance and she was stranded one day. She didn't have a place to live in. So they came pleading with me to just let her stay for a while until she was able to get a place. And that was how I had this girl. Man, the story is so long, and the long short of the story is that I had to move out of my own house for her because this lady was frustrating my entire existence. And imagine, like, I can't even remember all the things she did, but most of the things I remember, they are so horrible. And till today, I've never tried to look for her or try to even get connected back because what she did to me in the university, I don't think she's even able to deal with it by herself alone, right? Even when I remind her, I don't think she can ever forgive herself for doing that because she did a lot to me. Anyway, that was just my story. Let me know what you think. Do you have a roommate, or have you ever had a roommate who had so much to deal with and you had to deal with their issues at the same time? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, while we listen to more of these roommate stories from different creators. Okay, let's go watch their videos, then we'll come back and talk more. Please let us know what you think and also share your own experience with roommates in the comment section. If you had a good roommate, let us know in the comment section, because when there's a good one, there's definitely a bad one. When there's a bad one, there's definitely a good one. So let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section.
Let me tell you why I don't have roommates. I had roommates before I moved to my new place and I love them. I would live with them again. But before them, I was living with a bunch of my girlfriends in college and we had all graduated, but two of us decided to stay. We were going to take over the rent naturally, but the electricity bills remained in one of our roommates' names still. Now, when I moved into this house, I specifically said I didn't want to have my name on any bills because I had a bad track record with roommates who just didn't pay the bill or pay me for the bill, and then I got stuck with that check. So anyway, it's summertime and there's probably like 2 more months left before my other roommate and I are about to move out. And I came home from the hospital one day because I was working as a pharmacy technician at the time and the lights were out. No electricity, couldn't charge my phone, food going bad in the fridge. I remembered that we were getting letters in the mail addressed to this person for the light bill. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to open people's mail because that's a crime. But I committed a crime that day and I don't care. I opened her mail because I asked her if we could open it and she said no, just send it back to her, but I just never did because I didn't have the time. So I opened the mail and they said that your light bill is like 3 to 4 months past due. Now, how is it past due when we've been paying you for the bills? Long story short, she was spending the light bill money instead of paying it. So what I did was I just called the light company and said, this person doesn't live here anymore. She could deal with that. That's not my problem anymore. But it just showed me how trifling people can be, especially like people who are afraid to vocalize when they're going through something. Like we were friends. She could have said she was going through something and we would have helped her out, but she didn't. Instead, she decided to leave us for dead and I didn't like that. So yeah, I don't have roommates because I want peace of mind and I value my peace. The next roommate I will have is my husband.
I can't believe I'm telling this story. Here are some reasons why I will never have roommates ever again. So, one time my roommate was being cheated on with her best friend. Like, her best friend was doing a nasty with her man. So obviously that would piss anyone off, but she took it to a whole nother extreme. One day she went to go slash this girl's tires because she knew where she was, but during the process of her doing that, her car wouldn't start or basically died. So she came back to our house while everyone was sleeping, because this is in like the dead of night, and she took my car without asking me to go slash this girl's tires. So now it's the morning and she tells us, me and my other roommate, everything that happened the night before, like everything that was going on, what she did, what time everything was, but conveniently left out that she took my car. So now I'm going to my car and I get in the car, I start the car, and I look to my right and realize there's knives in my passenger seat. So I put 2 and 2 together and realized she took my car to commit a crime.
So now this next story is a different roommate, but basically she was being scammed by a friend of hers. This girl ended up taking like all this money from her. So she knew where she lived and she knew she lived with her parents. So she literally wanted to go pull up to the house and talk to her parents in the hopes that she can get this money back from this girl. She was nervous to go, so I suggested like, do you want me to go for like moral support? I'll just wait in the car the whole time. And she was like, yeah, like absolutely, I would love that. That was such a mistake, literally the worst mistake I could have made, because things ended up going south and the girl that scams her basically came to the car and tried to fight me. I wasn't even part of this. I didn't even know her. She pulled me out of the car by my hair and tried to fight me. Maybe I'm just too freaking nice, but I should have never even went. I should have just stayed my little ass home. Another time, this is a different roommate now. We would obviously all share a bathroom. There was a bunch of us that lived in a house and we would all share a bathroom, which means that we shared a shower, we shared a toilet, we shared a garbage. One day, one of my roommates went to go take a shower with her significant other that was in the house, and they found something crazy in the shower. I just ran out of time, so let me know if you want a part 2.
So I got into literally, I think the biggest fight I've ever gotten into with my roommate last night. And I don't know if you can tell by these awful dark circles and under eye bags, but I literally got no sleep. And honestly, I want to talk about it because number one, I'm still so hurt and angry and upset that I just need to get it out. And also some of you might relate to having an awful roommate situation. And she's blocked on everything, by the way, so she's not going to see this. But my roommate, my girl roommate, I live with a couple, so her and her boyfriend, she is quite literally one of the most disrespectful and inconsiderate people I think I've ever met in my life. We have had problems in the past, but I have always obviously wanted a very peaceful and livable household. So when we have had issues in the past, we've been able to sit down and have been like, look, you know, this is what happened and this is kind of like how it made me feel. Like, let's figure this out, basically. I don't want to live in a hostile environment and I need fucking peace in my life. And I've just come to realize that this person is so deeply inconsiderate and probably so deeply miserable in her own existence as a human being that she can't live peacefully and she can't approach issues peacefully. Regardless of who it is that you live with, no two people are the same, okay? So you're gonna have different ways of living and things are just gonna come up in a roommate situation. And the way you communicate when these problems come up and the way you handle it says everything. Anyway, so I'm at work and she starts blowing up my fucking phone over an issue that could have been resolved had we had an in-person conversation and sat down. But instead, she literally fucking attacked me and said I've never been spoken to this way. Like the most disgusting, foul-ass fucking language. My best friend and I have been friends for 8 years. We lived together previously for 3 years. We've gotten into some fights, okay? In any friendship, you're gonna have a fight. My best friend and I have never ever once spoken to each other this way or ever even remotely got as close to being as disrespectful as the way this bitch talked to me last night. When we all moved in together, we had the agreement that we were not going to do the like splitting food thing. Like, this is your food, this is my food. Basically, the agreement that we came to is if you ate something and you finish the last of it, you replace it, right? Understandable. And it's been this way for the last 6 months since we've all lived together. And so I ate and finished off the last of one of her snacks, reordered it. Literally, it arrived yesterday. And in this argument, this bitch had the audacity to say to me, you wouldn't have eaten all my food if you didn't have a raging eating disorder. Girl, what the fuck? Literally, who talks to somebody like who says something like that to a person? Especially when when we've had conversations at length about my history of disordered eating. Also, I don't know if you can hear their dog screaming his head off in the back, but every time they leave him, their dog does this and howls for hours and barks his head off. Anyway, what transpired after this conversation was basically the both of them trying to essentially intimidate me and bully me out of moving out of my own fucking house, which is not gonna happen, okay? Paid a fat ass deposit to move into this beautiful big home. And now she wants to like act like a fucking victim. And she's like, oh, we're being, now we have to live together against our own will. She wants to act like a victim in a problem she created. And the situation has me so upset and so angry. But I've also realized, like,
how sad for her. Like how sad that a grown-ass fucking adult has, number one, zero communication skills, zero conflict resolution skills, and is so deeply heinous and foul and just an outright fucking mean girl. Like, you're a mean girl at 27? Gross. And I deeply believe that people like this and who she is her own karma. And it sucks that I have to live with this evil bitch for 6 more months, but it is what it is.
I think if there's like one thing that all of us girlies can like collectively like share in common is that most of us, if not all of us, have had a bad roommate experience. Now this goes to like different extremes. Some of us have had like roommates from like horror stories, and some of us have maybe just had like roommates that like we just didn't get along with. But I'm gonna share my roommate experience. It was my freshman year of college, and I was living with 2 girls in my dorm, and one of the girls and I were really good friends for a while, and then we kind of slowly started to like drift apart. And this is the roommate that I caught stealing my clothes. Yeah, we came home from like Christmas break or something, and I remember searching for like my Lululemon leggings, and I was searching everywhere for them. I could not find them, and I was like, man, did I like leave these leggings at home? So I like call my mom, and I'm like, hey mom, my Lulu's there. No, they're not here. Nowhere to be found. So I'm like, fuck, where are these Lululemon leggings? And something in me just said, like, look in my roommate's dirty clothes, because we did borrow each other's clothes a lot at the time, but we always asked before we borrowed. And I was just like, I had this gut instinct where I was like, just look at her dirty clothes. Maybe she borrowed them without asking or like forgetting to ask. And sure enough, my Lululemon leggings were in her dirty clothes. But that is not where it ends, because silly me thought, oh, she probably just borrowed them, forgot to ask, forgot to put them back, like no big deal, did not confront her about them. That is issue number 1. I should have confronted her. Then fast forward to a couple weeks later, or a couple months later, actually. I think we were coming home from like another break like this, and we come back, and I had just bought this brand new Gymshark set. Okay, brand new Gymshark set that I was like so excited about. I like saved up my money for it, was so excited, and I came back and the set was not in my closet. It was gone and had tags on it. And I was laying in bed that morning. I had like slept in, and my roommate walks in the dorm, and what is she wearing? My brand new Gymshark set, with her little Trader Joe's bags, walking in with her cute little Gymshark set that she stole from my closet. I kid you not, this girl literally shit her pants because she ran into our bathroom so fucking quickly with her grocery bags and then proceeded to turn on the shower, acting like she was going to take a shower with her Trader Joe's grocery bags in the bathroom with her. Make it make sense. After that day, I put a lock on my closet, and her and I never spoke again, and we lived the last like 6 months in our dorm without ever saying a word to each other.
You will never understand what it means to have a horrible roommate until you have experienced them firsthand. I'm telling you for a fact, because I have seen them, I have experienced them. I am telling you, roommates, oh my god. I don't think it's even wise for anyone to have roommates. If you can't afford a particular place, look for the ones you can afford instead of you going for a roommate, because these people will make you to lose your sanity at some point because of their issues, like their own life issues and everything. Okay, I've only had a roommate that we lived like sisters at some point, and although we had issues at some point as well, but I feel that that was even my best experience having a roommate, but it was also terrible at some point. Anyway, guys, let us know what your roommate experience is. Okay, was it a good experience, or it was really bad? Share with us in the comment section, and please do well to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and do give this video a thumbs up. See you guys on my next video. Bye, my loves.